Hey, it's Joshua. I'm going to do a video that I've been wanting to do for a while on flint napping. There's two types of flint napping. You've seen in Regan's video on my channel, he's an impeccable artist. His pieces are just spectacular. I wish I could do that. I've been flint napping for 10 years and I can't do that. I try, but I can't. However, those are artistic pieces. You don't need to be able to do that to live in the wilderness. You don't need fancy tools to live in the wilderness. You just need sharp edges. I went and lived for 2 years in the wilderness. I didn't know how to flint nap at all. All I knew how to do was to knock a flake off. And that's what we're going to show you how to do today and show you how to use it. I got some tools with me. Last year, when my camp got robbed, all my tools got stolen, and some great people on Facebook, good friends, sent me some tools. Like these were sent to me by Brandon Lee. These are the best tools ever. And I'll put a link to the website that sells these because they're so fantastic. I've never had better tools than this in my life. This is solid copper ball. Now people say, copper, that's not primitive. Natives didn't use copper. Yes, they did. They used copper. They found copper nodules and they used it for flint napping. It's traditional. The Iceman, when he was found, he had copper tools on him. He was 5,000 years old frozen. However, you don't have to have copper tools. This is antler. Antler works very well. The reason I use copper tools more than antler is because they don't wear out as fast. It's like a big piece of elk antler like this wears out pretty fast. Because every time you hit an edge with it, you put a little dink in it. You got to file it out, sand it out. I also got a pressure flaker. This could also be a deer antler tine. Here, this is just a little one I whipped up. It's nothing special. It's just a piece of copper nailed into the end of a piece of wood, and I use that to push flakes off. I use this piece of tire to push flakes off, and I use these pieces of leather to push flakes off. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But let's talk about flint first. Let me get my tools out of the way here. Oh, also I use a grinding wheel instead of sandstone because it lasts longer and there's not much sandstone here. So I actually use a lot of store-bought tools, but I can reproduce any of them in nature. So here we got a grinding stone that's made out of grinding stone or whatever. We got its natural equivalent. This is just a piece of flint with a rough edge, which could be used to grind edges, which is what you use the grinding stone for grinding edges. But let's talk about, and stones, hammer stones. This is a piece of fire brick that's been rounded in the water here, but it could also take the place of this. You know, you could use this instead of this, and I'll show you both of them. Of course, you can get these in every size. Like if you were taking little tiny flakes off, a little round rock like this would be great. But let's talk about rock. Okay, I live in Springfield, Missouri right now. And this place is made out of Burlington chert. This rock is Burlington chert. It comes in all different grades. This is actually a pretty nice grade here for what's common around here. This is more common for what we find around here. This is chalk. This comes from the edge of a piece. Let me show you this. It's useless for tool making. It has other uses, but for tool making, no good. However, you could, like for making a bow drill fire, you could actually drill into this and make yourself a handhold pretty easy in this chalk rock. This stuff is on the edges of this, like here. This outside edge is chalk, inside is chert, commonly called flint. It's not flint, actually. Most flint is not in America. There's a lot of flint in Europe, but there's a little bit of flint in America, but not much. Most of the rock you find in America is chert, like this. Now this is an exceptionally good piece that we found a good few minutes ago. I figured I'd show you in this demo. A lot of times you find fossils in it. Look at this. You got a whole ancient seashell in this piece of chert, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you that because it's cool. Let's see here. Flint breaks conchoidally, so you can get flat pieces of it like this. This is a good find for starting a piece. I got a round piece around here that I grabbed a minute ago. If I can find it, I'm probably sitting on it. Yeah, right here. This is how flint forms, usually, or chert forms. Usually in these nodules. On the outside of the nodule is chalk. On the inside is the chert, and you can see that it formed in layers, rings. Like this dark ring here is probably the highest quality, the most glass-like. What you're looking for in chert is glass-like. Let's see if we can hear it. You can't hear a ding. That means there's some fractures in here. Yep. If we can find a piece that'll ding. Here's my little tool. Oh, I spend all my life looking for stuff. Oh, here it is. That's a pretty good sound. Not bad. It's got this cracking in here. But as I was saying, chert breaks conchoidally. It's like a pane of glass. If this was flat, if I were to strike right here with a BB, it would make a cone. That's what conchoidally or whatever means. Cone-shaped breaks. So, if I wanted to make a piece out of this, if I strike right here, it's going to send out a shock wave in a cone shape, you know, out in all directions. If I strike right in the center here, that pressure is going to not make it through. It's not going to break, but it will cause some internal fractures probably and mess up this rock. But if I hit the edge and I hold it at an angle like this, so if I hit straight down here and the cone shaped comes off here, then this edge will be the edge of the cone and it'll break off in a flake. Let's see if I can do that. Now this is a hell of a tool right here. That is sharper than shit. Okay, that will cut you wide open. That you can, with this piece right here, you could butcher a deer completely. You'll also butcher your hands if you try to hold this. So what I always do when I make a tool like this is dull an edge of it. And if you've seen my Hoko knife video, you've seen me doing this. So now I can hold this without cutting my hand open. But this edge is sharp, 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 sharp. I wish I had something to show you how sharp it was. Here's some leather. Try not to cut myself here. Just cuts right through this leather, see? Very sharp. Now that's a tool right there. That'll save your life. You could cut down a tree with this. Using stone tools is like using metal tools, however it's a lot slower. And this dulls very fast too. You see all these wonderfully worked pieces. They were resharpened and resharpened and resharpened. That's why they have all these flake scars. They probably started off something like this. You can get big flakes like this to do heavy work. Like you could chop down a tree with that. Or you can get smaller flakes. Let me see if I can get a couple more flakes off of here. You see some internal fractures there. Goes right along inside there. Let's see if I can just knock it off. There we go. Okay, another thing that's important is grinding your edges, which is why I have this stone. If you hit an edge, say if I were to hit this edge right here, it would just crumble and I wouldn't get a good flake. You got to grind it down so that it's solid to get good flakes. So let me grind this down. What I'm going to try and do, it's going to be hard because of this ridge, but I'm going to try and take this section right here. There we go. Very sharp. Very sharp. That's a tool. Right there, as it is a tool that you can use to survive. Another one. What the natives in this country and most of the world generally did is carried a core with them. When they would need a knife, they would knock off a flake. Like this. If they needed an arrowhead, they would knock off a flake and turn it into an arrowhead. Here, I'm going to knock this edge off real quick. Okay. Let me grind these edges. It also helps you not cut yourself when you grind your edges. Alright, I'm going to try and take this off. Oops, I missed. Something like this you could use to turn into an arrowhead. It's kind of thick though. I want to see if I can get a flatter piece. It's kind of like chess. If I want a good flat piece here, first I have to work these edges away. So I'm setting up platforms. Hey, look at this fossil. Crinoid fossil right in there. Pretty cool. Okay, so say I want this to be my flake. I need to get rid of this edge and this edge. I can hear internal fractures in here, and plus I can see this weird checkered up area. Not good. Okay, I want to take this section here to see if I can get it flat enough to make an arrowhead. There we go. That's it broke. There you go. You can make a really good arrowhead out of this. Let's see what we can do. Arrowheads are generally smaller than most people think. They usually find things like addle spearheads and think that they're arrowheads. So, to make a usable arrowhead, instead of a work of art, you just have to shape this in a general way to be arrowhead-like. What you do is you take the edge of your copper, you set it on the edge, and you push off a flake. Pushed off that flake there. Where's my grinding tool? You want to grind, especially when you're making small pieces, you want to grind all your edges often. Then come right next to it, push off another flake. I'm no expert, so you experts out there, when you see this and say, oh, he's doing that all wrong, tell me about it, okay, so I can start doing it right. But what I'm doing works. So even if it's wrong, it will still save your life. Okay, I'm taking off a row of flakes here. What I'm trying to do is just shape this into a point that can go onto a bow. Now you see I got all these edges sticking up. These are platforms. These are what my next pushes will be on, these parts that are sticking up. So I'll come along here, push on that. Push on that. Now we're getting a row. Here. I'm going to come on this side and just try and point it a bit. Okay, it's getting arrowhead shaped. This guy needs this. It's a very good idea to wear safety glasses when you're doing this. In fact, it's generally a rule. I'm not much of a rule follower though, but I occasionally get horrible flakes in my eyes that hurt me for weeks. And I'm lucky I'm not blind. So, if you're smarter than me, you'll wear safety glasses and gloves, because you will cut yourself continuously doing this. Percuss this instead of let's try and get it a little bit thinner right here. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now that's an arrowhead that will kill a deer. It's not pretty, and you ain't going to put it in a museum and say, look at this awesome native arrowhead. But it will kill a deer. And that's the real point, isn't it? Is to get meat. Of course you want to show off to your family. If you want to show off, hopefully Regan will do some more videos for us. Because he is, like I said, an amazing artist. Now this would go on the end of your arrow. It's very sharp on the edges. It would go through a deer. That's a tool for use, not a tool for art, but for use. All these flakes here are useful tools, even the small flakes. Like I showed you how to use a hoko, how to make a hoko knife. This flake would be good on a hoko knife for skinning an animal. You know, pry open. That's what you need for useful tools. You don't have to be an artist. It holds a lot of people back, and it held me back, thinking, well, I can't make a nice looking point, so I must not be a survivalist. All these sharp edges, you could probably shave with it. Huh? Look at that. Shave with it. Very, very sharp. Arrowhead, let's see if we can get an axe out of one of these pieces. This piece is already kind of flat, so I think that'd be a good try. It's got some fossils in it. I don't know how good the quality is, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. I got a square edge here. Square edges are a bad thing, so I'm going to try and just... Oh, we got some internal fractures. Let's get rid of those. Might help us get rid of this square edge. Not really. Let's see. Got a plan how I'm going to come at it. Here's what I'll do. Come at it this way. There's that chalk I was talking about. Alright, we got this ridge right here I want to try and get rid of. To do that, I need to bring the platform down a little more on this side. I'll do that just by hitting the edge like this. Okay, now I got a good platform there for striking. I'm going to try and get this ridge. Got it. Okay, ridge is gone. Okay, now to make an axe, we're just going to shape it into the shape of an axe. And then sharpen the edge. It's not as complicated as everybody thinks. It's not as complicated as I thought for years. Try not to hit the camera guy there.
It's okay.
We got a pretty big ridge right here. I'm going to try and get rid of that too. Got it. See that big one up there? Okay. Now I just want to sharpen this front edge to be the front biting edge of our axe. I'm a freehander. Most people that I see don't do a freehand like this. They usually use their leg. They're probably doing it right and I'm probably doing it wrong, but this is how I do it. I've been showing you me use copper tools. Let me show you me use antler in the same way. That chalk is causing me a lot of problems. Get most of it out of there though. Yeah, I got rid of it. Let's just shape it a little bit more. Okay, there's an axe. Sharp enough to chop down a tree. What you would do is put a handle on this, of course. And I have chopped down many trees with these. You don't want to chop down a 12-inch tree, you know what I mean? You're going to spend a lot of time on it. But for chopping down, for making your shelter, you need branches this thick or something. This will chop it down relatively quickly. The handles will wear out before the stone does. Also, while you're chopping, you're hitting forward pressure onto the wood, and a lot of times it'll sharpen itself as you chop. So, what have we made so far? We made an arrowhead, an axe handle, and numerous sharp razor blades for skinning animals, cutting meat, gutting fish, things like that. That's about it. That's all you really need to know to survive with stone tools. I don't think I knocked any off with a rock. Let me just demo that. Here's a rock. We can use it just the same as we did with the copper. You to sharpen edges, take off flakes. Generally, you want your hammerstone to be softer than the stone that you're hitting. We're hitting chert. We're hitting it with chert. So that's generally not a good idea, but this is low quality chert and I'm hitting high quality chert, so it is softer. And it flakes well. Makes sharp edges. You got this piece for taking big flakes, so let's see if I got one we can use here to take a big flake off of. Ah! Man-made stone don't work great. That ain't gonna work. We'll use this chalk edge of this piece of chert instead. You hear, that's the sound of a good flake right there. See? Alright, that's it. That's how you take big flakes, little flakes, using modern copper or antler or stone to make arrowheads, axes, knife blades, things like that. That's all you need to know. Then as you practice and practice and practice, you can start getting into the amazing pieces of artwork. But to survive, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. This is Joshua Hamlin. Keep watching, subscribe, comment. I love that. Show me pictures of your created creations. I love that. Check us out on Facebook. And thanks for watching.